gains.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do we have an agenda that?
Yeah, it's on the interview sheet.
Oh, there we go. Yes, we do. I found it. Okay. Call to order. Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. Well, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you both for joining us for our fabulous budget interviews. We'll make this short and sweet. We have 4 questions. Figure we'll just go around robin. Kyle is first. If you wouldn't mind stepping up, and this little thing right here is so that Mike can kind of hear better. So if you got it?
I'll be doing it.
Okay. So thank you for being here, Kyle, and Catherine, and I've met you before, but just in case. So the first question we're going to ask is, why are you interested in serving on the district budget committee?
Well, I'm kind of a budget hound to start with. And I think of the budget is the eye to the soul of the district. And it articulates really how the district is intending to approach its strategic plan. And it prioritizes the things that are important.
Thank you. Mike, you want to go next?
Sure. Thanks for coming, Kyle. What experiences do you have in being involved or informed with district activities and facilities?
The district facilities and activities?
Yes.
I'd say I've had my ear to the ground about the district for the last couple of years. As you know, I've been paying attention. I attended Skylar's community update last summer, I think it was, on new facility construction. I've been meeting monthly in this building regarding CERT and some other stuff with Sue. So I've been here. I've been to the food pantry, I guess you call it. Been through there, seeing how the Wednesday market works, and just been paying attention.
Okay, great. So Kyle, the expectation of the budget committee members is that they are prepared for each meeting, become informed about the proposed budget, and be willing to collaborate with the rest of the committee to continue district operations. How do you feel about this expectation?
Well, there were 3 expectations.
Yeah.
There.
Do you want me to say them again?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, those are baseline level expectations, and I would anticipate that a board as sophisticated as this one would have even higher level expectations than that. Of course, I can collaborate with budget committee, which includes you, all of you, and 5 more members. So, yeah, I think I can be a part of that input process.
Hi, Kyle. I thank you. I'm grateful you're here. What is the most important issue facing the district, and why is it important?
Strategic planning. I think from an outsider's arm length perspective, I think the district is operating pretty well right now. It's got all cylinders running, at least. There may be more that you know from the inside that's not apparent from the outside, but the district seems to be pretty functional. The question, therefore, is what's the future going to look like? What is the star you're going to steer by? And, the budget articulates that. And I think in the context of strategy, I think Skylar probably knows kind of intuitively where he wants to go, or kind of what things are possible in the future. And I think when the strategic plan is completed, that will give a real firm grasp, not only internally, but also to the community of where you're going and how you're going to get there. So you would start with a strategic plan and then have goals and objectives and so on, and vision. And I think that's something that the board, the budget committee, and the community can get behind, can rally behind to move the district forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Do you have any questions for us?
I think not.
All right. That's short and sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank
We'll be in
you,
touch.
Kyle.
All right, Marcus. Eric, do you want to start off the first question?
Sure. Marcus, could you tell us why you're interested in serving on the district budget committee?
As the former finance manager, I think it's an interesting perspective to be a previous employee and also a community member and have that perspective as an employee, understanding a little bit of the internal workings of district operations. And so I actually applied because I will admit last year was a crapshoot, and I think that staff deserve some kudos and praise and possibly a good year. And coming out of COVID, I think that it's important to have everything financially flushed out moving forward, because that kind of drained a lot of just everybody, not just financially, but just in general.
Thanks, Marcus. What experiences do you have in being involved or informed with the district's activities and facilities?
Yeah.
And you can, keep that a little shorter.
So, former employee, I also, my kids participate in a lot of things, and my husband and I sponsor a lot of events for the district, and so we try to stay engaged, because I feel that it's a key component to our community.
Thanks.
My turn now.
It's your turn, Mike.
Yeah, okay. Mark, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
The expectation of budget committee members is that they are prepared for each meeting and become informed about the proposed budget and be willing to collaborate with the rest of the committee to continue district operations. How do you feel about this expectation?
I feel that's a very manageable expectation.
Okay, Marcus, our last question for you before we turn it over to you to ask us any questions you have. What is the most important financial issue facing the district, and why is it important?
I feel that the most important financial issue is just a general reserve, and I think that it's because COVID still has a lot of unknowns that could pop up, and I think that COVID has highlighted the importance of that people rely on community agencies extensively. With the Meal on Wheel program and all these other programs, like, it's very important for people to have like the social interaction and stuff. And so I'd like to see the district really putting those reserves in place that if anything came up, even in the next year or in 20 years, that there's that reserve to continue to provide for the community.
Thank you, Marcus. Any questions for us?
No?
I feel like you've got it in. All right. Thank you both. Appreciate you.
I have a question.
Yes.
When are we going to interview the third person?
Well, so that's the next question. I think, do we know when she's available? Is it this week or next week, or what?
She's literally flying back, she said, today,
Nice.
like right now. So she was unable to even do a Zoom or a phone interview. I would assume, I didn't check with her on her availability, but I would assume she might be available later this week, or we could try to schedule something for early next week, maybe. There's no, well, it would be great to be able to confirm the budget committee composition at our meeting today. We have time, and we could do it with the schedule as it's laid out at the April meeting. But what you what needs to happen you can discuss who you feel like is the best fit, but you can't take official action unless it's a public meeting.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes. Could we reach out to her tomorrow and if she's back in town and just see if she'd be either available to come, I don't know, do you guys want to come back in or do you want to do a Zoom or a phone?
Well, we need to let the public know, can we do it as fast as tomorrow?
We probably could do.
No, it's not tomorrow, but this, like, what choices would you like Skylar to provide her? Zoom, phone, or in person, or any of the above?
Well, we had experience with Erica being hired via Zoom, so I think Zoom can work.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
this is, okay,
5 to
Jamie,
10
is this
minutes,
a
however a
girl?
week.
Or a-
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So we could maybe do a Zoom in, like, Thursday or Friday, if she's available,
Okay.
and probably in the afternoon. I don't know, what, Erica?
Yeah, I mean, we would just need to get like a time and then see
Yeah.
if it fits probably with everybody.
Let me reach out
Are
to
you,
her and
are you
see.
coaching things? Yes.
But, I mean, I'm a little more flexible actually right now.
So we're talking
It's
about
probably Celeste has more.
like the
meetings
7th
on
or
the calendar.
I'll see if I can get her availability for later this week and early next week. If that's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
And give
Maybe a
you
few
some
times.
dates that
Yeah.
might work, and then we can hone in on one.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, Friday is the swim meet.
Right.
And then we can, discuss and then have the official selection at the next meeting.
Okay.
That would be, we wouldn't be able to vote if we had a special meeting
Uh,
to do that, or we wait till
we
next month's
just wait,
vote,
yeah,
board meeting to vote on it.
we'll just wait till next board meeting to vote.
I'm in
but we
favor
could-
of giving her, whoever that is, Jamie, I have a son named Jamie, give everyone an opportunity to
I will
meet with her.
leave those with you though.
Okay. Yeah, if you want, I can hold on to your, interview sheets, or if you want to keep them and hand them to me after we're all through with this process, that's fine.
Keep wanting to lick my finger.
And can we just say, whatever the results, since we may not talk to you two, to thank you both for
Yeah.
stepping up and being willing to serve in this way, we really do appreciate it.
Agreed, thank you. Both, yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Nice to see you both.
Okay, board comment, for this part. Erica, anything?
None.
Sue, anything?
I just think I don't know what happened that she's not here.
If Jamie's not here, we're just gonna do a Zoom meeting.
She has some prior scheduled travel to visit family. I think she's just coming back from that, is what she shared.
Okay.
Any board comment?
I'm grateful that our two showed up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Celeste, no comment. Mike?
I appreciate Kyle coming in. I actually contacted Kyle because we'd interviewed him for a board appointment a couple years back and ran into him, and happy that he came in. I think he's a great candidate. Also, Marcus is a great candidate. We had our former finance manager, Ruth Johnson, move into a board position after she retired. And, you know, it's good to have that view, you know, from that position and from outside the position. So appreciate having this opportunity, and we'll see what plays out here.
Thank you.
No board comment for me. This meeting adjourned.
Thank
So
you,
that-
gentlemen.
Few minutes,
So we wait now until 5:15?
yeah.
Really? Left and-
Do I bring it in here? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to name my question.
So I say, Mary Blake is going to, I confirmed this, but somebody said she was gonna swim more
Oh,
than.
that's what you do, you sponsor a lap or something?
Yeah, to get blocks and a timing system for our pool.
Blocks and this thing. Okay.
For the committee. All right, you good? You good? This meeting is now called to order. All right, everybody rise.
I shook my head.
I know, but I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Declaration of potential conflict of interest, Erica.
None.
Sue.
None.
Celeste.
None?
Mike.
None.
None. Fabulous. Public comment. Do we have anybody online, Darren?
It's on this one, no, but nobody's there. Do any of you want to offer public comment?
Not at this time.
I offer that we're maybe. Fabulous. Moving on. Correspondence. There is no correspondence in the packet that I noticed, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Recognition of the SEPRD Employee of the Month. Is your sister joining us?
No, she couldn't join us tonight.
Are you accepting on her behalf?
I can. She was going to be here, but, her significant other was sick tonight, so
And they have a little one.
she has to go take care of both of them.
Yes. So Ashley Wolf is our Employee of the Month for March. And the Director of Programs, Justin Smith, says Ashley has been an important part of the district for several years. Ashley is now running our swim lesson program, and she puts a great deal of energy and time into the program, and it shows with its success. She has continued to help families teach their kids through KinderSwim as she revamps the program after the COVID shutdown. Ashley continues to mentor all aquatic staff and improve all safety aspects in the natatorium. And we are very lucky to have Ashley, and I know that my kids absolutely adore her. So thank you very much, Ashley, and thank you, Lindsay, for delivering to Ashley.
Yes.
Next time, could you do that? Catherine, next time, Australian accent though?
That would not go well. Approval of the board meeting minutes from February 22nd. Has everybody had a chance to look over the board meeting minutes?
I looked them over and I would move to accept them.
I would second.
All right.
Oh, did you want to ask me a question?
I just wanted to defer to any other criticism, but I would move that we approve them.
We have a first and a second. All in favor signify aye, opposed nay. Erica?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Celeste?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Staff presentation. Lindsay Wolf.
It's in between the.
Oh, we did, I'm sorry, hold on, Lindsay, I missed one. Review financials, I was being too efficient. February, review financials from February.
No.
Does anybody have additional questions? I noticed Chris is here.
Yeah, you got lots of expertise here, Chris and Darren. No. And previous finance. We can get back to
Past, present, and future.
Sue has a question for
So I'm
somebody.
just kind of curious, like on the very bottom of the check report, we often get like a negative, here's the negative 320, then a positive 320. When you turn it over, it's another 320. And what happened?
I would, yeah, while Chris is gonna look at that, I think that's probably a voided check. Maybe it was a wrong vendor or a wrong name. or
So that
something
one
like
is the way they do refunds. If somebody had gone into the system and previously paid this person through Rec 1, which now we can't do that, but, so that's just the way that it voids it out. So it has the same check number, so it just goes to zero. So
Because I
that's,
know it was the voided, on the list of voided checks, but,
Yeah.
I mean, how does that happen? That the wrong person got,
so it's not technically the wrong person. It could be, I'm trying to think exactly what this one would have been, but, sometimes we'll get a late notice that said like maybe they ended up having to hold some of their cleaning fee back if they ended up cleaning, so then we'll have to void that one out. Or it could even be somebody that, just never got a check. They just-
320, I think, sounds like the amount for childcare.
It does. I do know this one was a rental though. It was actually a rental for over here. Because then you factor in the, alcohol deposits about 250, and then cleaning deposits 150. So 320, I think we maybe ended up holding a little bit more, and then another report came in and we
I mean,
probably
is
ended
there
up holding
any
more.
reference that they're both Daniel Smith versus Daniel Velazquez? I mean, or am I just talking about something totally
I
different?
think those are two different people.
Because the amount of money is the same.
Well, but
And
it's
that one
the
might have
legal
just-
fee.
Right, and that one might have been in the system. That one, I think, was one where it might have gone on the wrong person, so then we just voided off of the
Okay.
person.
Thank you.
Good question.
Any other questions
Um,
for
I
past, future, and present?
I had a general question.
Yes.
Just on the revenues, I was noticing that there's still about $200,000 in taxes still outstanding, and I wondered if that was normal to be, to not have that tax money come to the district yet, or what was the special for that? Is there still another?
Yeah, we're still receiving disbursement from the county. I would expect that will continue for another maybe month or two. I'm not sure if we'll make up that gap. That could be a heavier amount of uncollected taxes, but we also haven't received any timber taxes here, and that's kind of an unknown too.
That's kind of odd.
So, yeah, I mean, again, we use the figures that the county gives us when we present the budget, and they're using their best estimates. But I would expect, Mike, that will be at 100% or higher by the end of the fiscal year, just because of the growth that we've seen in our area, the increase in property taxes in the district.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, because as I recall, it's that annually that we generally need to do a supplemental, correct? And so do we anticipate, because it looks like we're actually underspent compared to on revenue versus, on expenditures versus where we're at with revenue
Yeah.
currently, and so do we expect to only have to do one supplemental this year, or?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, so we're kind of, staff has been working pretty diligently on getting budget figures put together, getting the budget put together, and I think once we have that, a better, clear look at the budget for next year and look at our carry forward, what amount we'll have, then we'll kind of work backwards to the budget that we presented this year and say, okay, well, we're under in this area, but we budgeted for this amount, so maybe we can use some of that for this project or this expansion into this service or whatever, the case might be. But yeah, I hope we'll just have one, Celeste, and it'll probably be towards the end of the fiscal year.
Okay.
You can see kind of the need for that, even just like if you look at the aquatics line, because we were, predicting what was really unknown about our service levels and the capacity. And I'm just going to be able to tell you how great aquatics is doing, so that's
Yeah,
a
it does
good
look like it.
segue. But
Any other questions?
I would move that we accept the financial reports for February and the check registry.
All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor, signify aye. Opposed, nay. Erica?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Celeste?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now it is Lisa.
Oh, okay.
unless you want to do it, I'm happy to do it. If you probably want to stand kind of close to that little table, then
Mike can hear you.
Mike will pick up
The microphone's right there.
more of what you say. So just tell me when you want to go.
Okay, so this is just kind of a year overview of what we've been doing in aquatics. All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay, so the first one's just a little bit about me. I'm new in this position of aquatic coordinator. It's been almost a year. I've been with the district for 7 years. Started as a swim instructor, worked my way up to lifeguard, head guard. Went to lifeguard instructor training class, and we are, next week, Megan and I are going to LGIT, which is lifeguard instructor trainer. So we're excited to do that. We'll be fully functional within our own district, and we'll be able to help other districts get certified to be instructors as well. So it'll be a really good thing for our district to have that option and that opportunity. So my certification I have in yoga, and I also have my aquatic fitness certification. I got an award. Almost forgot that one. 2021, I got excellence in aquatics program by ORPA. So that was exciting, especially my first year. I was like, oh. I am a volunteer firefighter for Deerheart, and I also have my EMR cert, which is emergency medical responder. So it's always nice because I feel like I can teach the staff a little more medical. So when we respond to injuries, we have the knowledge and the training.
Can I add a little?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she just touched on the LGIT training. Well, that's something we've been working at for years. I think 4 years ago they changed it that if you're a lifeguard instructor, you used to just have to teach to keep that cert. And every 2 years they added that you need to have an LGIT come out and do another test to keep that cert. And it is extremely difficult to find someone to come out here or to send. We have 5 LGIs to send out to get that training. So we've been working at this for years. The next step would be also for swim lessons, that same level would be what we need is the WSIT, so that we can fully just keep certifying our own staff and not have to worry about finding someone from outside to come in. LGI has been difficult, but the WSI is even more difficult to find. So Lindsay kind of skipped over that, but her and Megan are going to go. They have been working their butts off the last 2 weeks because they have 4 assignments to teach each to a class, and it's a full week worth of being in the pool teaching, getting a little bit of criticism. They're also marking other instructors, so it's going to be a real fun event for them, and they're going to do amazing at it, no problem. They've been teaching this for years, but it's a big deal. It's a real big deal.
What is the LG stand for?
Lifeguard.
LG.
So LGI is lifeguard instructor,
Oh,
and then the next
okay.
person who teaches instructors is a trainer. LGIT.
So the LGIT is the highest you can go, and to keep your LGIT cert, you have to teach 1 class within your 2 years of certification, and then you're just keeping up to date on the renewals and stuff on their class.
Thank you.
All right, so swim lessons. We had some, COVID staffing issues, but we worked through them very well, and we held swim lessons whenever we were able to. Regardless of if we had to do less classes, we still wanted to get as many kids in the water as we could. So these are our numbers for 2021. Our total was 327, which that year was really hard because we were shut down for most of the year, and we weren't allowed to be open. So, but right when we opened the pool back up, the first thing we were working on was getting the kids back in the water because it was almost a year since they've been out. So we're really proud of those numbers. Our instructors do an amazing job. We were wearing shields in the water and dealing with all the struggles, but we worked around it. The staff had great interaction with the kids and the parents. So this year so far, I'm looking forward to our numbers just jumping from here. Right now we're doing 2-month sessions. So far this year we've had 169 total. Our new session that I just put into Rec 1, we have 144 available spots, which is
Yeah.
That's jumping a lot. So we're really proud of that. We have some new staff members, lifeguards, that are training to do swim lessons, and they're really excited about it. So things are looking up, and I just see our numbers going higher from here. Upcoming improvements to swim lessons are, right now, they're 1 day a week, because I just wanted to get as many kids as I could in to have a chance to swim. My goal would be to do our 2 day a month sessions again. So doing like a Monday, Wednesday, group the same, Tuesday, Thursday. So every kid has 2 days a week instead of 1. So we're working on that. As soon as we get our swim instructors trained, I think we can get there pretty quickly, hopefully the next session. So, swim team, when we were open, swim team never stopped. Swim team was always going. Mike did an amazing job with the kids during COVID. He's a great coach. These numbers in 2022 are the highest we've seen, and we just keep getting more of an interest in this, and more kids every single month. He's doing a great job. Yeah, 24 kids, so that's pretty cool. Mike does an amazing job. And
Yeah, those
anything else on that?
Yeah, these two slides, although the numbers are probably lower than what you would think, especially on swim lessons, but most schools weren't doing anything, if not just private lessons. So that's the real reason Lindsay won the award, is to be able to come up with a way that we can get kids in the water, get families in the pool, and keep operating. So we're really proud of these numbers, even though they're a little lower than what we would have liked to see. But I mean, it's been amazing to have any programming going.
Well, and I remember when we made the decision to shut down, one of the big concerns that we had is what's going to happen with these kids and, you know, not being able to learn how to swim. And so being in, this is so important for our community.
Absolutely.
Our water fitness classes, we currently have Tai Chi, Aqua Core, Arthritis, Mindful Waters, H2O Fit, and Water Volleyball. These classes are all doing amazing. We have a lot of attendance to all of these classes. Coming up soon this year, we want to bring back Boga. We're going to do an aqua circuit with Angel, so that'll be fun. And then when we open on Saturdays, which will hopefully be soon, we're going to hold a class. Not sure which class will be held yet, but we're going to do a fitness class on Saturdays as well.
Can I ask, sort of related, did we hire a maintenance person so that we could be open on Saturdays?
We do have a janitor. They're doing the weekdays right now. They've only worked about, I think, a week and a half. I think 2 weeks starting this Thursday. So we're just giving them the chance, an opportunity to get to know the building. But I feel pretty confident that you have the ability to do that Saturday as well.
Fabulous. I know that was one of our things that was holding us back.
Yeah, it has been really tough to find some of these key positions to be able to do anything further. We really want to expand a lot of what we're offering, but that's really what's holding us back right now.
Yeah. Us and everybody else.
Yeah. Highlight on this was the H2O fitness class. That's Sandy's class, the one she teaches. This past week, I've heard a lot of radio chat. Can you guys stop letting people in? The class is too full. So we're getting to see those numbers pre-pandemic level again. So these classes are really growing at a great pace. It's doing awesome.
I wanted to ask a question. I noticed you said you have this Northwest Senior and Disability Services contract for aquatic arthritis.
Yes.
And is that aquatic Tai Chi also?
That's land Tai Chi.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
the land class, yeah.
I just want to know, my wife's really interested in Tai Chi.
Yeah, Jennifer teaches it, Jennifer Soprano, in this building.
Okay, great, thank you.
And then here's just some highlights. We had 2 sessions of surf camp in 2021 with 17 participants, which this is amazing because it was still during COVID time and everything. So to be able to get out and get these kids doing that is, Coach Mike did an amazing job with this too. He set it all up. He takes the kids out for a day and they learn how to surf. So, and we're planning on continuing this program as well. We were able to run 5 sessions of swim lessons during a very challenging time, which we're very proud of. I won the 2021 Excellence in Aquatic and Programming Award for the ORPA. And we have private lessons with Coach Carolyn. And she has been amazing. She has so many lessons. We've done over 200 private lessons with Carolyn when she came on. So,
What's ORPA?
Oregon Park and Recreation Association.
and then these we've purchased, we have them. We are going to put the rock wall over where the slide used to be in the deep end. And then this aqua zip is going to go in the middle of the pool, kind of where the 4 feet is, over by the spectators area. So this will be really fun. This will be really good for kids who can't quite pass the swim test, but they still want to do something fun. Because they can't go to the rope swing, they can't do the rock wall. So this is going to be an option for them, because it's going to be in the shallower water. So we're excited to have these put in and start using them. And
Yeah, this has been a long project. We've been working on this for like 3 years now.
Well, and we've
So,
had these
We've had them
for a while,
yeah.
like last year.
Yeah, OHA is the holdup right now.
Okay.
We're trying to get through, this one especially is pretty new, so they're just not sure how to handle it, as opposed to this one that's already been in the works. So, the last update from Levi was they're just kind of working through some challenges as to what we should be doing and how we should be anchoring them and whatnot, and then we'll be able to install. But they're ready to go as soon as they give us the green light in the pool.
Hopefully
Oh,
time
by
for
the
summer.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
self-returning rope means they swing out,
Yeah.
they drop, and then the rope comes back.
Yeah, so there's a weight in the arm here. And so, you know, with our current rope swing, that's one of the dangers. They swing out and often swing back.
Yeah.
They don't have that
Keep their
option
hand
anymore.
on the side of the
They either
pool.
drop or they just hold
This one,
on.
it's not going to go back to the beginning unless they let go.
Yeah,
So it'll be really nice and safe for those younger kids who, you know, can't quite go in the deep end yet. And it'll be something fun for them to do.
yeah, to also draw out the warm pool. And everyone flocks to the warm pool.
Oh, yeah.
That'll help draw that out a little bit and spread the fun.
And, part of the holdup with OHA is a good mapping, but we're literally the only place in the state that will have one of these zip features, or will be the first place. I imagine there'll be others soon, but that's kind of part of, the challenge that they're having is they don't know how to apply a set of rules that, doesn't fit with this, I don't know, device or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah, the rock wall is way more common than anything about that.
Well, maybe they should come out and try it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
do have one question for you, Lindsay, selfishly. When is the next swim lesson sign-up opening?
I can tell you that. It's April 13th.
Okay, fabulous.
Midnight?
The usual 12 a.m. Set your alarm.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, you're not gonna have to do that because you have 144 spots.
Yeah, more
You
slots.
know,
You wouldn't
but
think you'd have
I
to,
know.
but.
my wait list for this current session, I have about 40 kids on the wait list. So it's still gonna be a get there and get that spot.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so,
April 24th,
April 13th.
Oh,
13th, yeah.
would
yeah.
they start, or they're starting in that same month?
They start the next month.
Yeah.
Like the sign up just goes
Yeah.
through the 13th through the 29th of April to get everybody organized for the next 2 months. Yeah, this last one, I set them up on the computer, went home, came back after they opened up online, and 1s and 2s were completely full. And I was like, it's only been 10 hours.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, it's amazing, so.
Wow.
Yep.
Are the private lessons full right now? Well,
Coach Kirtland has spots
She
open,
does.
yeah, and you can sign up with her through our website. She has a link you can click
Oh,
on.
oh,
and,
cool.
yeah, she signs them up on her own platform.
oh, nice.
Well, thank you very much, Lindsay. Anybody have questions for Lindsay?
No, I just have,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to encourage people to come for fun on Friday at 4.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah,
That's Friday at 4.
the swim-a-thon.
The swim-a-thon at the.
Yes, it'll be a
at the
treasure
meet.
hunt on Friday, treasure hunt and some games in the
Yeah.
pool. And then Saturday is going to be the lapathon or flash-a-thon, I think it is,
Swim-a-thon.
but, yeah. They'll be doing, you know, it'll 10 to 2, just lap swim in, and, yeah, it'll be a good time.
Sponsored.
But still, you can still sponsor somebody. Actually,
Yeah.
come up with a couple of bucks.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on, I gotta find this stuff. There we go, old business. Budget committee composition. We're not really.
Yeah, I don't think we need to move forward with that right now. That was added because, there was a hope that we would be able to interview all the candidates. So again, just to reiterate, I'll try to work with the other candidate, find a time for an interview in the next week or so via Zoom. I do want to share, I think I shared these dates before, but we're tentatively planning on having budget committee meetings on May 3rd and May 17th. Those are both Tuesdays, but not on board meeting nights, as was suggested at a previous meeting. Thanks, guys. So if you can hold those dates in your calendar, and we'll try to, if all goes well, I think it's really doable for us to approve the budget in 2 meetings. We had 3 last year, and if the committee wants to have a third, we can, but I think it's certainly possible to do it in 2.
So I somehow didn't know that there was going to be a budget meeting on the 17th. That's my third date,
Okay.
which is here, so I'm over there.
What time do those meetings start, sir? Okay.
April 17th?
May 17th?
May 17th.
Okay. Well, maybe we can work on that second meeting date. Does May 3rd work for folks?
Yeah, what time is it going to be?
Up to you guys. Probably, maybe same time, 5:15. If later works better, we could do
That's
later.
a Tuesday?
Uh-huh. If earlier works better, we could probably go a little earlier, I think, but.
I'm fine.
I'm flexible on the time.
Did we publish times to the candidates?
We put that they were tentative, so they're in the budget application. We tentatively said May 3rd and May 17th. But again, I think those could be adjusted. I know the candidates know about those dates, and they probably have them held, but if we need to, adjust for Sue, that's fine, or whatever the committee wants to do. Luckily, it's a committee of 10, so if we're missing one member, it's
Yeah.
Well, I'll be is it supposed to be over there? 'Cause that's.
No, we're tentatively moving our public meetings, all of them, to this room. It's a little better acoustically and helps with some of the technology. And if you look up to your that way, whatever that direction is for you, to your right, yeah, you can see that Darren and Isaiah mounted a little camera up there. And we've got a good setup, I think, in this room to help people hear and participate in the meetings virtually.
It's much better in this room for me. I appreciate it.
I think if we get to a place where we have lots of public comment or we have bigger meetings, then maybe we'll adjust and we can move back to the main hall or to the SRC at some point. But for now, it seems to be working well.
Might need more room for a budget hearing.
Yeah.
We've done it, when I participated, we were in this room,
We'll have
so.
to kind of figure out the best way.
Can't you just do a round table and
Yeah.
people?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what we did before.
I think it would be
worked fine.
helpful just to have to nail down the times, just
Yeah,
so that you
sure.
can hold it on the calendar. From my perspective, I don't really care if it's 4:35, 5:30, it doesn't really matter.
Sounds good.
Does anybody have a
Just
preference?
I think 5 maybe is.
5?
Sometimes I do feel like we're rushing, that 4:30 time a little
Yeah.
bit.
This is for the May 3rd,
May 3rd, yeah.
5 o'clock.
That's fine with me.
Okay. And then,
May 3rd, yeah.
do we want to keep the 17th as a date or adjust that now?
We would do May 3rd and then not till May 17th.
Potentially. I mean, again, it's totally up to, but we probably need 2 meetings. I mean, we could do it in one. There are agencies that do it in one, but I don't know how. It seems like a really long.
But that's spaced out.
Yeah,
Can we
I
do it
think
the 10th
really,
instead?
the only thing we need to have time for is for that feedback to come via either the public or from the budget committee and get those questions answered.
Okay.
And I think 2 weeks is enough. I think
Yeah.
1 week might be pushing it, but
But, and Sue, you're in the meeting
I'm over
on
there.
the 17th.
We could do, there's a fifth Tuesday in May, the 31st. We could do it then. We could try to do it after our regular board meeting on the 24th, assuming that maybe it'll be a short kind of approve. But yeah, I know we've assumed that before, so.
What about something like a Thursday, the 12th? So that would give us a little more than a week.
That would work.
I was even thinking maybe just the Monday, the 16th. Can we do Monday?
Wait, May 16th?
How do you feel about a Monday, Sarah?
I feel okay about it. I mean, my son has a baseball game that night, but it's okay.
Not do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I also have softball, and if you have, I think.
And I'm a Canopy tourist.
Okay, never mind. Forget
Just
Monday.
do that, I think that Thursday would be nice. I'd kind of rather, like, if we could finish it up early in the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 12th does not work for me. But how about the 19th? Thursday the 19th.
19th could work. Oh, no, sorry. We have all staff training that night.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys can do it without me.
Or we just keep it the 17th.
Well, what if it was the 18th, what if it was a Wednesday?
I can't do Wednesdays.
If it's okay, maybe let's keep it the 17th and
Especially if we
revisit it.
hold the candidates, I think we should keep it for now.
And so maybe we can figure something creative out. What time did you say your meeting is?
5 to 6. The thing is, we are celebrating, passing the CERT training, so I was gonna bring in pizza.
Well,
And have a
maybe there'll be
pizza
leftovers
party.
for the budget
And
committee.
it's like, okay, I'll just take the pizza and come over here, listen for a while, and then go back over there.
If hers is 5 to 6, what if we just make our meeting at 6?
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Just that one will be
Yeah.
at 6, the third one will stay at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
We'll bring the pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't even talk about pizza right now. I'm so hungry.
Well, I mean, because of COVID, I wanted to do like a Christmas party with pizza, and we couldn't do it, of course. So I thought, why not celebrate 20,
Sure.
20 new members of CERT?
Okay, moving on.
I'll keep you posted about the other stuff.
Actually, the April meeting then is what day? I feel like it'd be in my April really.
The April regular board meeting would be the 26th. We discussed, and it's actually on the executive director report, having a workshop on the 12th. But,
Oh, you have it right here. So.
By the way, the Vicarage just announced that they are finally having their spring concert in person on that day, but it's not until 6:30. So if we did the workshop earlier and.
What would you guys think of waiting on the workshop till the end of May, after we get through the budget? I mean, would it maybe give us a better perspective too, for some of the stuff we want to?
There was something we were gonna work on and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I think we just kind of wanted to get together again and put something more regular
Yeah.
on some of the, but I don't think we necessarily had anything pressing that date would have.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think there was something pressing, I just think there was, like, we were.
Oh, wasn't it was that when we talked about starting like an overarching strategic plan?
Yes.
Is that what it
that
was?
was one of the things that was
Yeah.
kind of on that soft agenda for whenever we kick off workshops again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to speak from a very selfish family perspective that it seems like I have either a track meet or a baseball game about every night until June-ish.
Yeah.
So that would be great. We can reschedule, and obviously my priority will be to be here for those meetings. But yeah, even that night, the 12th, that's why I put it on the agenda, is because Haley has a track meet that night. I'd love to be able to go and support her.
Yeah, I feel like we also have just a lot of meetings coming up for the next couple.
So do we want to move to June?
Or even like, I don't know, end of May or whatever, but yeah, maybe I'm thinking after the budget.
So
First week of June maybe.
So the 12th, we were talking about, like goals, so that's the one we're talking about moving.
Yeah. Maybe first week of June.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep it on the agenda in May, and we can firm up a date, but I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
So
a
we
lot
have-
of upcoming.
We're looking at moving it, right? So I can put it in June?
Yeah, I'll say, I do have a conference meeting, on that
Is
Wednesday.
that second
That's-
Tuesday,
that's-
or is
oh,
that Wednesday?
That's the second Wednesday. Tuesday is fine.
Okay, so, maybe the 7th or the,
Normally we do the 14th.
yeah,
14th would be fine too. Yeah.
okay, sounds good, thank you.
I'm leaving, but on the 14th.
Okay, so we need,
Sorry.
we need to have it.
But that's what I'm
before
thinking,
the
maybe that first even,
The 7th. So let's shoot for June 7th for a board work.
thank you, sorry.
It's like we're hurting
It's
fast,
never
yeah.
gonna work.
Okay.
Well, we have busy people, and that's a good thing, I think.
How fancy this phone. Good job.
And should we hold, the 5 o'clock hour while we're at it?
Keep the
Yeah.
normal
Five,
5:15 or whatever. Okay, great.
I know, the workshops, I don't mind starting earlier because I feel like we get done earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on. New business, Northwest, Service District meals.
Senior.
Senior, there we go.
Yeah.
Getting all my acronyms mixed up. Meal site contract. There is a new version in our new packet that we got. You want to highlight the major changes?
Just that the dates have been updated, it looks like they have updated the, maybe Darren, I don't know if you know anything about this, but there was a vendor that they were working with, Bateman Meals, and under this, at least, it says that the food service contract will be from Trio. So I don't know, they must be switching, or maybe Bateman is going under a new name. I thought that things were going well. The only other real change between the contract that's currently in place and this one is an increase in the compensation, which is about a 7% increase from the previous contract, and is adequate from our perspective, as in terms of the employee that manages this program, his compensation, as well as like our other incurred expenses as a result of the program, which aren't much because the building is the city's, and they typically do repairs and things like that when we have issues.
So was the 43,000 like just a guesstimate?
Nope, it's based on, they're offering a 7% increase, I think statewide for all of their contracts such as
So now
this.
that 7% is 42, not 43, because that's the difference.
They,
The
you
old
mean
one-
the old one is 7% less than this one? Yeah, they may have rounded up and they told me 7%, but I know it's right
The old
close
one
to
is
that.
43, this one is 42.
Where have you seen the old one there? Sorry.
Oh, well, see, I have the old packet,
Okay,
so the money
yeah,
shows, the old packet shows, the 3,500 is the same, but the total cost of this agreement shall not exceed $43,002. This one will not exceed
42,462.
I wonder if that amount, needs to be revisited, so. I know they had planned for a 7% increase, I didn't compare the old figure and the new figure. Let me, follow up with them and double check on that.
See, that's just the old packet.
We can't really approve the agreement unless we're sure of the
It's
numbers.
almost like they switched the numbers around.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
I,
if-
it is like.
So
the-
we could approve, I think we could approve, given that that the contract is amended to reflect the approximately 7% increase.
Yeah. Good.
But, yeah, other words.
So if you take the $3,583.50 and times it by 12, it is $43,002.
Which is,
Some
the
math.
So I'm gonna guess that
Issues.
this 42,452 is from a previous contract.
So can you, what is the, oh, I see.
The other question that comparing the two, the old one had $540 for mileage reimbursement and this new one does not.
Correct. Yeah, there's supposed to be some added compensation in the total amount because of the way that the mileage was working out for Chris. He's actually driving more miles than they anticipated when they generated the original contract because there's some clients that will only accept deliveries from Chris. So tell you what, maybe I can revisit this with their staff. I had, maybe assumed that the contract was in good shape, but it looks like we either have some just transposing errors or mathematical errors of some sort.
I can see where the mileage.
Other than that before we approve it, I'd like it to have the right numbers.
Okay.
Because, you know, you're right, the transposing, the 3583
And then
.50
yeah,
versus 3538.
yeah, it's like they
Yeah,
They swapped.
that's weird. Okay.
Okay, so we'll wait on that one.
Pause. Thanks.
Well, since can I ask, I actually mentioned this with Skylar, on number 16, which is on, I don't know which one you want to look at, page 3, under compliance, that's where, I mean, this one is specifically addressing COVID-19, and what I wondered was adding COVID-19 or, you know, like whatever, well, you know, like some general language that says COVID-19 or illness. Other disease. Right, so
Sure.
that,
Something else will come up.
so that you're not stuck with, well, that was COVID, you have to do something now for some other illness.
That's a good thought there too. Anybody have any other comments about that part that we can take back to them? All right, thank you, Skylar.
Sure.
District goals. I thought these were well put together. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I was trying to, I guess, come up with a format that I could update as we move throughout this calendar year. And I'm a visual person, so included a visual representation. I don't know if it's the one I'll stick with, but provided a timeline of, I think, how we can slot these projects or goals in throughout the year, and then give a little update on the current status. So I know that there will be other things that we'll work on. You know, Sue and I just had a conversation at the beginning of the meeting about a different, very potentially valuable goal that we could work on. Or maybe it's a part of one of these, but I think this will give us a good quantifiable list of outcomes at the end of the year. Hopefully, if we're able to get this stuff done, I feel really great about the position of the district.
I have a question on number 6. So, once we have this timeline and this IGA settled, what are we looking at? I mean, what are the goals after that with the Broadway field?
Sure. So I guess I would probably harken back to, I think Eric has been selected as the designee from the board to work with me on this, and we've had, I don't know, at least a few conversations about the goals of the district and where we're at. Unfortunately, like, I kind of feel like we're just sort of playing tennis with ourselves right now, because unless we can engage other partners and see what they're willing to discuss with us or compromise on or adjust the current IGA, then all of it is just, you know, conversation, unfortunately. I think our goals would be to receive more support, either financial or other support from the two partners in the IGA, and then also have a clear understanding of what will happen when the field needs to be replaced and who will be financially responsible for that, how that will work, and who will execute that project. If that's going to be a project held by us or by the city or by the school district, and then the financial piece of that.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike.
I just was going to comment, and Darren was at the last City Parks Advisory meeting, and the city is in the process of reevaluating or updating the Parks Master Plan for the city. And in my mind, I'm on that committee, in my mind, the IGA should be defined in the master plan of the city. And I would encourage us to really bring the dialogue to that. And because I really think, you know, we're we're scantily defined in the master plan of recreation, really, in that. But it seems to me that this IGA, with respect to Broadway Park in particular, should be clearly defined. It should be a part of the city master plan. I haven't said this to them, but I think it's a fit. I know Darren listened into the last meeting, and probably recalls some of the, at least the initial discussions that we've had. But it would be great to get over the hump on that, one way or the other.
The other one thing I think maybe we could do at the workshop is like maybe another bullet underneath of like support needed.
Okay.
Because I think it would, just speaking to like kind of, because ultimately these are the park goals, Park and Rec goals, but you're responsible for those goals.
Yeah.
So like having, almost kind of covering yourself in a way of like, this is what I've defined as support needed from either the board or from staff.
So just internal
yeah,
support,
or
not necessarily like if I need support from.
Yeah, like
Partner
support
A,
from
partner B.
your boss, or
Yeah.
support from
Okay.
different people that we're working with. Like, for example, number 6, support needed is these other parties in a way too, you know, being engaged, and
Yeah.
that way it's really, I think it would be really better and more clear for you in terms of what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
And I was gonna say number 2, since you're very close to completing that one, I would like to see that one be kind of continue in the grant vein, but like what are the goals for that position? Like what do we want them to do with that?
Sure.
You know?
So kind of redefining, so it's not just hire, but
Right.
also.
Now what?
Yeah.
Now that we've hired them, now what do we want them to accomplish?
Okay.
Because I think that's such an important position that we're hopefully getting an amazing person.
Yeah.
And I know Melissa's done amazing things as she can in the midst of other jobs.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting this together.
No
And
problem.
I do like the visual.
I have another question.
Go for it.
Because on number 5, it's specifically for the pool.
Mhm.
What about this building here? I mean, returning to what we had before.
Sure.
Just, you know, how far are we along in doing that?
Yeah, so I'll share, I guess, my perspective there, and you can step in here if you'd like, but from where I'm sitting, I think we've returned the building to its full operational status within the programs that we provide directly. So we don't have control of it when the meal site wants to return to in-person. That's a decision that has to be made by them. So that, for example, that program will return to its normal status whenever they're ready. And they've kind of shared what their process is going to be. As far as some of the other programs, I think we're doing what we were doing before. Some of our other tenants or people that were using the space, like the bridge group, for example, they might have alterations or they might still not be back to normal. But we're going to kind of leave those decisions in the hands of the people that are administering those programs. Does that sound about?
Yeah, really, the only big limitation, again, are senior programs. You know, some of the other, you know, like senior activities that we were doing, those have still been kind of on hold, at least until we've, you know, we feel like those programs are ready to come back. And it probably is really in line with, you know, the folks coming back in for the congregate meals. They were the big users of our other senior activities. So we'll take that as things come along and progress with getting the congregate site back into full operation.
So I kind of wondered if, I mean, I like these goals. This is great. And so my question is, as we're looking at more than the pool, does one of these need to return the Sunset Pool and return Bob Chisholm Community Center and Maryville Lake Playhouse and, you know?
Sure, we could add the other facilities in here. I think
Well,
that's.
my only thing would be, is that, I think when we originally talked about this isn't all the stuff the district does. These are just some specific markers for Skylar. so I think we have to be a little bit careful, because if we keep moving the goalposts and changing them all the time, like, and so I would just propose, like, this isn't meant to be a comprehensive work plan for Skylar. This isn't all the stuff Skylar does. These are just the markers where we can help, and we can use these to monitor how well things are going. And so I just want to keep us out of the weeds of getting in and getting to a place where we're micromanaging all of the activities. So if it is a priority and we want to see it, we should be including it in the annual goals. Like if it's a specific thing we want to keep our eye on, but I don't think we should try to make this into a complete work plan that covers every single angle. That's just my opinion.
Thank you.
So I don't know if we feel like it needs to be said in this priority that we need to list all the buildings and all the operations, or is it good enough to list one thing as a marker and then continue to receive updates? I don't know. What do people think?
I don't know how to answer that. What do you think?
Well, again, I agree, and I appreciate that. I think, you can, I feel like I have a good enough relationship with each of the directors that we can work specifically on these items, and you can ask me how things are going on returning this service or returning this program. And I hope that you know and can trust me when I say that it is our hope to bring back and restore all of the programs as soon as we are able to, given like fiscal, staff restraints, safety, and the well-being of our patrons, and all of those factors that we have to consider. So that would include here, the Mary Blake, at the pool, and of course in the SRC.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's kind of
the SRC is kind of the only one that's like nagging at me a little bit. I feel like you have a lot of usage and you have a lot of people that expect things from that building.
Sure. And
some of those parties who are expecting certain things, in some ways, like I wonder if there needs to be more partnerships. So I actually think it is kind of a big deal that, it's something that like is it could be very visible to certain groups around our community, and we want to make sure that we're fulfilling, I guess, like these expectations, but also like holding certain people accountable to help with those things. So I don't know how to word that, if it's a whole separate thing, but I do think it's something that we need to work towards this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good point. So, and this is the first time we've done this, right, Skylar? Isn't this the first time you've had written goals like this? And I think as we do them, we'll get better at figuring out how we want to capture the goal and what we want to measure through, as far as performance goes. And so these goals are for 2022, except are we doing a calendar year or a fiscal year?
I thought we were doing calendar year.
Calendar, yeah.
Calendar year, okay.
I mean, I was wondering if number one, you could just, is it about occupancy or is it about?
I think it's the occupancy permit.
It is, yeah, but like I wonder
Well,
if you could just say,
I think that's part of it though, but once we have that occupancy, then it's going to be, okay, now let's begin utilizing the building for these other purposes or in this other way, and it's now permitted to do that. And I guess I feel like that's kind of what you're.
Yeah, I just think you're like, for a while now, we've been in this like temporary state where you actually do have a lot of people going in there.
Yeah.
And like a lot of needs in there, and like, is there something temporarily we want to set a goal for?
Is that what our strategic plan is though there, is to provide some guidance about?
It is, yeah, no, I
our-
agree. I just, like, again, I just think it's still happening, like, even over the last 6 months, we've had a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Do you have a way that you would be able to provide us back some feedback to help you in that strategic planning, to understand, now that you have usage and requests coming in, do you feel like you have a clearer picture of what you're going to be asked for? Because in order for us to actually help set up some guidance.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to be able to share kind of some of the the lessons learned or experiences that we've had. I think that
Yeah.
might be really informative for the board as they're kind of considering, next steps. We could put that on the agenda for next meeting or save it
Yeah.
for a workshop, or I could prepare something written and share it to you.
I mean, like, I even wonder if there needs to be some, like, memos written up with even, like, PBL or,
Yeah.
where there's, like, these, some level of understanding on what that partnership will look like. Because they're depending on this facility,
Sure.
and,
Yeah, we've had,
and there's also, like, things coming up that you guys are having to deal with because of that. And
Yeah.
it's never easy, I guess.
Well, even just, I just know that even responding to all of, to requests.
Exactly.
it takes
Like, there's a lot of
time.
expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you're certainly, kind of touching on some of the internal, I think, stresses and pressures that we've all felt as an organization of responding and providing service. And, especially with PBL, I think we feel, I don't know what the right word is. We want to make sure that they're using our space and that they're having a good experience, right? And that that revenue that they're generating for our community is still present, and I think it's really important that they're at that downtown, the central location like we talked about. All the stuff that we talked about in the planning stage and the preparation for obtaining the building kind of bore out to fruition. Just, you never can be fully, I think, prepared for how it impacts the staff and the dynamic that it creates with all the requests and the janitorial responsibilities. And I've shared some of that stuff with you, but I think there's some other good and harder lessons that may be beneficial to share. Maybe I can work to expand a little bit what I think you're hoping for number one.
Yeah.
Add
Or
to that a
even,
little bit.
I mean, maybe it's something that is a goal, a more specific goal for the maintenance staff or a different department, like you could even work, I just, like I said, I just feel like there's a lot of expectations on that building and on you guys
Sure.
that we have to, like, manage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also wondered how those expectations, like, I do wonder how it has impacted, like, activities, like, are we pulling activities away from here? And now they're over there, like.
Moving them to the SRC?
Yeah, like, how is that, what is that dynamic? Like, I don't think any of us necessarily want another facility to go unused, because
Sure.
now the shiny thing, the new thing is over there, right? Like, so how do we help make sure that we're spreading things out appropriately?
Yeah.
And having some guidance about what facilities get used for what.
I guess I was hopeful, and I still am, and I haven't received the draft, the nearly completed draft of our strategic plan yet, but I'm hopeful that will help us kind of.
The SRC
Yeah,
strategic plan, yeah.
and I know that's not gonna say, this is what you should do with Bob Chisholm, but I think it's gonna say, this is what you should do there, and then we can say, okay, we still wanna offer this program, let's do that at the Bob, or let's do that at the Mary Lake, or.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just think about it too?
It's another kind of domino that I think we're waiting for in this discussion, is that strategic plan to be in front of us and us to be able to use it as a guide for how we go about this.
So why don't we just kind of put that on the agenda for next time and just kind of, we'll just keep, playing it by ear, I think.
Okay.
Did you want these approved? Do we need to approve these though? Or is that what you're saying, Kat?
I don't know, do we need to?
You don't need to,
I
I guess I'm saying,
I think
this
you
is the
just want
standard by
feedback.
which,
Yeah.
I might be held to later, which
Yeah.
it sounds like it kind of is, and I'm great with that. I just want to make sure you guys are all in agreement that this is fair and good, and, I'll keep updating it, and then when we get to November, December, we'll say, okay, this is where we're at, and this is why.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm never interested in micromanaging you, ever.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't understand why we would not pay it. When we're looking at what can we, like the pottery, I presume we're gonna move over there eventually. So that means there's a space here. I'm very fond that the Sunset Empire has loaned space out to us for CERT. So I just don't wanna forget everybody else.
Sure.
But I don't believe, I'm sorry, I don't understand if there's some micromanagement implied. That was not my concern.
Oh, yeah, and I didn't mean to say that. That was,
No.
I was just saying, it's easy to slide into that. If you start trying to list everything in a document like this,
Right.
it's easy to start trying to name everything, and that can then start to feel, so I don't, at least I didn't need to find.
No, I just want to make sure we don't, I mean, I want us to utilize our facilities as best we can.
I feel like we're sort of in limbo a little bit, because this is great, but we also, like you say, we're waiting on the strategic plan for the SSC, which will then affect the overarching strategic plan, which then affects this building.
And I think we can adjust it.
Yeah,
We
but I mean, it's kind of like, we've got a few very big pieces that haven't come yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, a huge one is the occupancy permit, because that really drives
Yeah.
everything else, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is, you know, I like this format, I think it's great, and I think it's a good goal, and I think we just can.
I think it's good. I think it reflects the priorities of the district. Good deal. I think there's generally we have consensus that these are things we need to do. I think a lot of them will come to an opportunity, and we need to seize those opportunities when they come and make progress where we can. You know, looking at the bar graph and the progress indicator, it's easy to see the things that we're close to accomplishing and the things that we need to work on.
Okay, thank you, Skylar.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Northwest Regional Education Service District contract, I got that happening, right?
Yes. You did, good job. It is a mouthful. We don't, honestly, we can discuss this at length in this meeting. I wanted to provide the contract for visibility and make sure that you had it. The reason why I felt like it was needed for this, for the board to consider or start thinking about is our tenant has asked us how we're feeling about them as a tenant and about the relationship moving forward. The lease is good for another, I don't know, 16 months, 17 months, 15 months, so until July 2023. But they are already thinking about, you know, what the next steps for them would be if they weren't with us in the SRC.
How are they feeling?
I believe that they are quite happy with the relationship and like the space, and they also do not want to have to look for another space in the county. And considering that they've invested, you know, a fair amount into improving the classrooms that they're using and making them more suitable for their staff and for their students, I think that they are motivated to stay. From staff's perspective, it's been a really great relationship, and there's been a couple of, I wouldn't say challenges, but just like little things that we've had to work out, but those have gone well. They're submitting work orders using our work order system that we use for our maintenance staff, and we're tracking them and billing them separately from this account. We're also able to bill them for, you know, their portion of our utility expenses, which has gone well, or as well as could be. The one challenge that I think that probably put a tiny bit of strain on the relationship was we had the heat go out in the SRC for a little while, probably about 3 to 4 weeks. And while our staff was working on repairing it, you know, it was difficult. It was cold in there. We provided, you know, the space heaters as much as we could and things, but we kept in, I think, good communication with them. So, and I wouldn't anticipate until we repair that system, there's probably going to be regular disruptions in service just because it's an old, inefficient system.
Is it the same as in the gym?
It's the same as in gym 1, except for that one I think we turned off the heat in gym 1, so that's pretty much
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah. It's a very poorly insulated part of the building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Numbers coming.
Like you walk in the hall. You get blasted.
The kids love it, yeah, the coaches and parents not so much.
Can they wait until June, or like, till
Sure,
there's better?
there's no need for us to say, yeah, we want you for another 2 years right now, but I think they kind of want a feeling from us, that
we'll know more in a couple months.
Yeah.
And then once we get the strategic plan, which I believe believe they were part of,
June.
you know.
They were,
when
they were involved in, our meetings and stuff, and
Yeah.
they've
But I
talked.
mean, on the one that we looked at, weren't those classrooms,
Sure.
that's kind of, yeah. I feel like they've been a great partner. It's nice to have them, and, you know, just in the case of when we were having that dispensary issues, having them throw down was fabulous. So, you know, nice having that be in our same building.
Yeah, I agree.
So I have two questions.
Yeah.
So I wondered if there was, I don't see a problem, but I wondered if there was any reason that under, you know, the property rented, if we needed to address any kind of parking issue. Because they lease the building, but they're gonna park. And I mean, it's not like they're bringing in, you know, their own program or something like that. But I just, you know, wondered if, from what this spells out, if, I don't know, if parking should be addressed in the property rented.
The only time there was parking issues was for the summer, Wednesday, farmer's market.
Right, and so I'm just asking, because I don't know.
Yeah, I know we had many conversations, I don't know if it's in the contract, but there, again, this goes back to one of those things where when you have a good relationship with somebody, you can kind of work out those little minor issues, that they understand the way that the building will work eventually, and the way that it works on those Wednesdays, and they're pretty respectful of our parking needs. They've had meetings and stuff that's caused the parking lot to be a little fuller than usual, and we've adjusted. And right now, I mean, with the building not getting as much use, except for on PBL weekends, it's not a challenge. Eventually, when the building is more open to recreation, I think that's something we'll have to look at, but that is kind of one of those pieces we're waiting for strategic plan, waiting for the piece with the chamber building to play out. I think improving that area of the building, of the property, is in the works. So I don't think there's any issues right now. They don't have enough staff working in the building, neither do we, to make it really a concern.
I mean, it's
I haven't seen any issues, I've gone by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does seem like it's a good thing, though, to actually just include, I agree with you, I think putting something in there. Just next time when we do extend, it seems like it would be smart to just sort of put a mental placeholder that when we do extend, that we cover something like that, just so that it's.
Yes, especially for liability.
Shared or
Yeah.
something.
It should be described in the responsibilities and liabilities
Yeah.
and risk management.
Right.
Okay.
And the only other thing I have is because is something that, I don't know, it's on page 6, and it's just, the mail system is changing, and I don't know what that means, except the comment about 3 days may need to change someday to like 5 days, because I know things that I put in the mail no longer get where they're supposed to be in the time frame they used to get to.
What page are you on, Sam?
Oh, it's like on page 6, and it talks about notice being 3 days after you've mailed something, that it has to be in, you know, delivered in person, or in person is fine, but or 3 days after being put in the mailbox. And 3 days might not be enough time, and it may be that we just need to say 5 days or something.
Well, you could just say 3 days after receipt of something, the mails.
What section is this under, sir?
So it's page,
It's just been providing notice, it's the town notice is delivered.
it's below the addresses, because
Okay.
you're sending something to Hillsborough. And I know it took a week for my Christmas card to get to my friend in Hillsborough.
Okay.
And it says 3 days up there, and I'm just worried, or not worried, I'm just like concerned that a semantics, well, it's supposed to have been here in 3 days. Well, you know, unless you pay the money to certify it, and,
They actually have a courier that goes to Hillsborough.
okay.
They provide,
Oh, that's nice.
they provide services to the school district,
Okay.
just so.
That was all I was curious about.
Okay. So if I could ask, I guess the board, as they now have this contract again, if you didn't have it, is just to I guess, be considering this as we approach over the next few months. I would anticipate that sometime this summer, Northwest Regional will ask us to reconvene and discuss extending the lease for another period of time, a year or 2 years or something like that. And that'll be a decision that we'll have to make together.
Yeah.
I think it's great they're here, and, long live the king, you know, it'll be interesting to see, how our relationship evolves. They could contribute to their own new construction if they wanted to.
All right, Executive Director report, go.
Okay, I have a few things to share. We already talked about the board workshop date. I shared a memo in the packet about the warming center report, although no district funds were expensed for the meals provision. We did provide a shower voucher to everyone that stayed. Kind of strange, it seems like we have a very small percentage of people actually redeeming that voucher. I'm not sure necessarily why that is, but total number of meals served was 380. The warming center was open 40 nights and served 190 people. So
It's closed.
it's closed now for the year, and I think there's a hope that the center will be back in that location or a different location somewhere. But I think it was, again, a good thing. I want to highlight the work of some of our staff that worked really hard on that, especially Laura, who was primarily our meal preparer, sandwiches and the breakfast stuff. Aaron, Elizabeth, Melissa, Justin, and Levi. Aaron's name twice, so she was extra special.
Maybe when that returns, we can kind of ask the participants. Why
Why
is
didn't
that?
you shower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not in that way.
I know what you mean. What can we do to
Make this more
make this more appealing
accessible.
for you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, another thing that we've talked about at the SRC, because we have bigger locker rooms and maybe a more accessible space for those folks that sometimes have, you know, a little bit more stuff to bring to the shower area. So.
Yeah. Be a good conversation to have.
Where was the building? I mean,
It was
was the Helping Hand?
Yeah, it was where the old Helping Hands used to be, right across from the jiu-jitsu business. Yeah. Melissa's here to talk about the family dance report, but before she does, I just want to share a little bit of kudos and appreciation to our staff and do it in this public meeting. So we have just, I think, an incredible amount of staff that are working hard on different projects and things that are going on. Seems to be a very busy time for the district. Justin was here. He's running Start Smart Soccer right now, and it's going really well. I think we have like 18 kids participating.
Soccer or basketball?
Oh, basketball, sorry. Soccer was last.
No, soccer's next.
Soccer's next. Okay, thank you. Chris and Darren are both here, luckily. They've been working on our new software ExecuTime, as well as meeting with all of the staff and making a lot of headway in budget preparations. You've probably seen from some of my updates and from press releases and such, we've had some mechanical issues in both pools over the last week or so. And one of the main pool maintenance issue required us to actually be closed for a day or two last week, which was unfortunate because it was spring break. But I don't think people see what all is going on behind the scenes, and how, you know, our maintenance team was here over the weekend, basically toiling and doing some pretty difficult work to try to keep and get that system up and running. And we just kind of missed our window by a little bit, but it's no fault of theirs. Melissa's going to share a little bit about the success of the dance, but I want to make sure that she is recognized for her grant work. We applied for these 3 large grants with Oregon Community Foundation, Providence, and the Roundhouse Foundation. And if all goes well, that'll be the kick that we need to bring in more space for infant and toddlers, and potentially bring in a substantial amount of funds for that. And then the last thing, just a tiny bit choked up about this because it kind of caught us all by surprise today, but Mike Cotty, our swim coach, had a heart attack this morning, and he was life-flighted to a hospital in Portland. He's doing well. He had a second stent put in. Mike had a similar heart attack a few years ago, and kind of completely changed his life and his perspective, and, he was a great person before, but he became a even like better person, after. But, yeah, Mike's, I think he's doing really well. His wife, Tanya, works for us too, and she's been updating staff, so, thankfully he's doing well, and looks like he has made it through this, at least, that part of the experience, but, just want to keep you all informed that he's, him and Tanya are a big part of, the Sunset Pool and our employee base, so, kind of tough news, but again, I just want to thank our staff for all of their hard work, and, we have a couple here, and want to turn this some time over to Melissa to share a little bit about our dance.
Shall I come forward to?
Yeah, that's great, if you can, yeah.
Make it a little easier to,
So sorry, you're
to hear.
Mike.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Have no idea.
One thing I should mention too, just since we're talking about helping hands, we are going to be doing our Run for Change that we do, in the summer. And so this year we're gonna focus on that, because we wanted to work with a local, charity, and I think that would be great for drumming up support for the event, so, more to come on that. But, so the family dance was great. I know some of you were able to be there and witness it. It's so awesome to have the Sunset Recreation Center. It's just amazing to have that space. We were really lucky. Our maintenance team did an amazing job on the front desk. I don't know if you've seen it. It's beautiful. It's just like, it's really cool industrial look with the corrugated, metal and, beautiful polished wood and then the kind of industrial like fixtures. So it was awesome because everybody got to see that as they came in. And it made it really easy for us to check people in, so that was awesome. We had some great TRS staff who were helping us out. I don't know if you met Jocelyn or Hannah, but they are wonderful, like really just very cheerful, customer service oriented. They just did a fantastic job, and it made it very easy for me. So which is good, because we had probably 3/4 of the folks who came were registered in advance, but then we got quite a few more people that wanted to register that day, so it was wonderful to have their help. And so I want to say we ended up with, somewhere between 200 to 250 people, a lot of families. I heard from quite a few people, kind of some gratitude about the way we phrased the dance this year. In the past, we've done daddy-daughter dances, mother-son dances, but I heard from folks ahead of time that, I wish that it was a bit more inclusive. One person in particular was a mom with a daughter and was kind of like, it's not that she couldn't come to those events, but she didn't necessarily feel welcome. She felt a little awkward about it. And so a lot of positive feedback about changing it to family dance, because then it's just how you define it. Are you an aunt with your niece and nephew, as one of our, as Jocelyn was, one of our patron specialists, and, we have, grandparents and foster parents and, all kinds of people, siblings and just, family friends, and so it was really cool, to have that and to see that. And our DJ was awesome. We worked with Bruce Smith. He did a really great job, up on so we were in Gym 1, and he was up there, helping us, getting everybody involved. There was kids, like, just kind of sneaking through the whole thing, big conga line, so that was super fun. And he helped us give away raffle prizes, and we had really fantastic volunteers. We had help from the middle school Builders Club, and we also had help from a bunch of Pacifica students who were getting their hours in for their volunteer project for their senior year. Really awesome. They were helping us with, replenishing our snacks. We had cupcakes and cookies and drinks, and so they were, keeping that going. We had a craft for the kids where they could decorate their own tiara or crown, and so we had volunteers, replenishing that as well with jewels and markers and that kind of thing. Justin Graff and Spears came and they did our photographs for us. They did a great job as well. And then it was just fun. We went with a medieval theme, decorated, turned the stage in Gym 1, the older gym. I always get them confused. Turned it into a castle. So that was kind of fun. And just had, decorations throughout. Some people really got into the theme. The Gooch family really represented. They had awesome. Yeah, they had awesome costumes. And so it was a lot of fun. CSED Signals did a really nice article about it. You can, if you're curious about that costume, you can either go on our Facebook page or...
I have pictures.
Yeah, or you can go to CSED Signal and there's a beautiful photo of Mr. and Mrs. Gooch. So they look great. So yeah, it was, I think, overall a success. Our volunteers were also really helpful about cleaning up afterwards because that's, you know, super important when you have a facility that you use on a daily basis, you know, getting in there with our youth programs on that Monday. So, yeah, it was overall a lot of fun, a lot of work, but a lot of fun. So, any questions that I can answer?
So I've kind of, so nicely done, and I think it's just awesome to be able to have so many people participate in a single activity like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a high number. And I'm just wondering about replication and like, so just from a perspective of like what it costs us to put in and how much work it is for you all, and I'm just wondering like, that seems like a pretty replicable thing, and whether or not the idea is to keep it just once a year, or whether or not you could actually have it as something that happens as an evening activity.
Sure.
Both during the off season when, you know, when it's cloudy and dark and rainy down here, the way to brighten things up, but also during the summer, and maybe even have tourists that might want to come and participate in something like that.
Yeah.
It sort of reminds me of the old school movies where they used to have family dances or family events with, you know, talent shows and stuff like that. Kind of what you expect when you're on vacation. So
Maybe even dance lessons.
That would be fun. That would be super fun. Well, I think a lot of it just depends on, you know, once we have our capacity in that building, you know, having folks to check people in, having sponsorships. We were really lucky this year. We had $2,000 in sponsorships for this particular event from Longboat Consulting Group and Pacific Power. They were really helpful with that, and that allowed us to purchase, you know, food and craft supplies and cover the DJ and decorations and all that fun stuff. There was a minimal cost. We were thinking the cost pretty low to keep it accessible. So it was $25 a couple, which that could be like, you know, adult and child, or it could be like, you know, two parents and $5 extra for the kid. You know, we're trying to like keep it really accessible that way. So I think it's doable. I think it's just a matter of figuring out what we want to do. And one great thing that I really enjoyed about it was between we use the cafeteria space and the gym space, and both those spaces are large enough that even though we had a lot of people there, it didn't feel cramped, which is nice, just because, you know, that was the first weekend we were masked off. And so it felt comfortable. I didn't hear from anybody that they weren't comfortable. Some people did choose to wear masks, some people didn't. But I think people were able to, especially on the dance floor, kind of spread out a little bit. One other thing I should mention is we did receive one of the grants we received is from the Clatsop County Cultural Coalition for a sound booth. And so that's something that we've been talking about and having designs for. It's probably something that we'll need to talk to our engineers about just to figure out the logistics of it. But definitely that space is a great, you know, performance space. Like if you wanted to have dance lessons or, you know, have folks dancing on stage or putting on a play or whatever. The acoustics, you know, it's definitely, there's an echo, but it's a really awesome multifunctional space. So yeah, it was cool. And there's built-in seating with the sisters, so you know, everybody was taking advantage of that too. So yeah, it was fun.
For myself, I thoroughly enjoyed actually feeling like I could go attend with them and watching them dance. It was a lot of fun. I did have one tiny bit of feedback from my child, and it was simply that she did not know a lot of the songs that were being played. So I kind of wish he had tailored it a little bit more younger.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I don't know the song.
That's good.
The music was too old?
Yeah, they were playing, you know, some, I got that he was trying to like hit the whole crowd, but for like a family dance, the whole point was like littler kids, and yeah, there were definitely some older songs. They're like, I don't know what this is.
He was taking requests. So,
he did, yeah.
But
he did not have the one song that she requested multiple times, which I was for. And the other thing too, I would maybe suggest next time, instead of glue for the gems on the fancy crowns, maybe stickers, because there was a lot of gems all over the floor because they were not drying quickly.
There were, we swept the gym and cafeteria a few times, and after everybody left, I swept the picture one more time, because it was sort of one of those things where you think you got everything, and you're like, what's that little shimmer over there?
But all in all, it was truly a fun night, and I would definitely second Celeste, like, I don't know, like, every month, but definitely at least a couple times a year would be a fun family thing, and, you know,
I like the drive-in idea too.
Yes.
You know, I've seen where people like make their car out of cardboard
Yes.
box and then.
Well,
that can be super fun.
you know, that would be do a projection and, you know,
That'd be super fun.
super fun. Well, thank
And
you,
again, I
Melissa.
think the gym's big enough, like,
It-
it's spread out.
It is, yeah.
One thing, I don't know if you guys saw our Facebook page, I posted today, actually, it's gonna be in our newsletter as well, but, and I don't wanna steal your thunder, but the sensory pass.
Oh, yes, we got some last week.
Check out those photos. The kids were super excited. It was, on Monday was their first time to really experience them, but they're awesome. And it really makes that whole space, that hallway breathe programs and the cafeteria, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out. Hop over, do it
Go
yourself.
through it.
Yeah, you can do a little hop from Lily Dad to, you know, you can practice your colors and letters and numbers and shapes as well.
Or go shiny.
Yeah, and I guess Justin's not here, but he gets kudos for putting many layers of wax, so.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's pretty super shiny, so. Anyway.
Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah.
All right, special events.
We have another special event coming up in just a couple weeks, our annual community egg hunt, be on Saturday the 16th. We have a presenting sponsor, a great partner at Providence that's helping put this event on, but we're always looking for volunteers, and I think we're restoring this event to its original version from 3 years ago. Because we did drive-up baskets, and then last year we had a smaller version, but that's always a fun event. We usually have about 2,000 people in total participating in some form. Probably only about 500 kids, but lots of kids come with families, parents, grandparents in tow, so.
When did the eggs get stuffed?
We used to buy them not stuffed, and now we buy them pre-stuffed, because it took way too long. They come stuffed. I think we're all aware of the other dates. We've talked about this. The only other thing that we haven't talked about is that Sip and Savor that will be here quickly, and if you have a desire to maybe participate or just come and support the district, or the foundation, please hold that date. It will be from 4 to 6:30 here at the Bob Chisholm. We're only going to sell about 100 tickets because of the Bob Chisholm main hall is not as big as the convention center. So kind of keeping it a little bit smaller, but it should still be a lot of fun.
Is the Rotary participating in that?
Rotary sharing in the responsibilities. And, same kind of format as traditional, but different locations.
It's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Skylar, I wanted to go, but I'm not gonna be here, you know.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what is the Sip and Savor?
Oh, it's what used to be called Sweet Affair.
Oh, yes, I was always working.
Yeah. Well, now, Sue.
I know, now I just volunteer.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Skylar. Board comments, Erica?
Do I have to go first?
Yes, because you're always over there. I could shake things up. You want me to go that way?
Let's see. No, I just think, I guess the thing that stood out to me is the goals, and I think they look really good, and I'm excited to have that strategic plan somewhat in order so that we can, because I think we've been talking about that as a board since we got started, so, you know, that's definitely something that I know we want to get going. So, no, I think that's it.
Thanks, Erica. Good.
Well, I'm just really appreciative of the work that Lindsay and Justin and, you know, the team has done to be bringing us back to pre-pandemic and whatever this future is, that people can be very excited and trusting Skylar and I were talking about how, Astoria wasn't open when we were open, and the amount of diligence and cleaning and all the aspects of blood, sweat, and tears to make, to keep this district open and going. Everyone deserves, respect and appreciation. And I'm very glad to be on this board to be part of that. And the packet tonight just encompasses a lot of the positive things that we are doing to move forward. And I'm just glad to be, grateful to be part of it.
Yeah, I just echo Sue. I think, looking at the fullness of all the activities, kudos to you and your staff, Skylar, for all that you've done to get us back up to speed. And I think that, combined with hopefully a break in this pandemic and the sunshine coming our way, I'm really looking forward to what sort of this next season brings us.
Yeah. I want to congratulate Skylar and staff for the great job they do and the honor that they brought to the district and to the board thereby. It's been just an amazing 2 years considering all that we've been through together, and the re-election and dealing with COVID, just unimaginable kinds of challenges. But I do appreciate the success that we're having and continue to have.
I too would like to thank all the staff. I think Lindsay did a great presentation, and thank Darren and Chris for all the hard work on the budget and everything that's coming, and Melissa for all your hard work on all your events, and Skylar for all your hard work on managing all these people. It's just very exciting. I enjoy being on the board with everybody. I think we have a great vision for this district, and it's nice to see us start seeing some results. I would also like to say, in reference to the earlier announcement, I just would like to send all my love and healing towards the Katie family, because that's a huge worry. So just a lot of love and support from the board and the district for them.
Amen.
And with that, meeting adjourned.